Please welcome Waka Flocka's mom, Deb Antney, and Bow Wow's mom, Teresa Caldwell. How are you, ladies?
Great. How are you?
Good.
How are you?
Thank you for being here. Now, I don't want to get anyone in any trouble, but we're going to take some shine away from your famous son today. It's going to be all about y'all tonight. Is that okay?
That's cool.
Perfect.
Okay. Now, when you have famous sons, is it possible to move around without being recognized, or do people harass you or recognize you when you go out?
Well, for me, since I'm more behind the scenes, I really don't have anybody really recognizing me. So I can pretty much move the way I want to move.
Not so much with Deb, right?
No, Deb is famous. I'm not famous.
No, I do a lot of stuff. But I'm still acknowledged as Waka Flocka's mother. So
does that ever not bother you, but ever you're like,
you said it right. It do irritate me because they robbed me of my identity.
Because you're like, I was doing stuff before I was Waka Flocka's mom.
Yeah. Sometimes it kind of gets to me because in the industry is like a lot of things that they don't know. Mm-hmm. Because I also was a person that was heard but never seen. Mm-hmm. So you didn't have the knowledge of knowing a lot of the things that I did because I do love my normal life.
Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like an afterthought. Like we heard of you on the show, and then it's like, oh, and by the way, she did this, and that. But you've been around, you've been doing your thing for a long time. Right.
Well, the music side for me, first off, that would come out, Mm-hmm. So it's tons of things that I've done far before, my son ever came out to rap, and he's actually been around this. The first 5 years of his life, his birthdays was done with DMC.
Wow.
So he's been around music all his life.
So Deb, you've been really busy making the rounds, doing radio interviews, and you ran into an old friend of mine. Let's take a look.
See the seat that I'm sitting at, because we ain't gonna mention no names. I'm sitting in Miss Juicy, baby.
Yeah.
I'm in Miss Juicy seat. What's up? And I'm not getting up.
I love Juicy.
Such good people too. She's just solid.
Yeah, I love her. You can't even say. I gotta say it like Miss Juicy, baby. Like you just cannot say her name without saying that. Like you have to say that when you say her name. And I love Juicy.
Such a good spirit, and she's done the show, and I'm so super happy about how things are just popping for her as well.
And so was I.
She used to get breakfast for us on the Ricky Smiley show, and they would just send her out and she would get breakfast and we would connect, and she cried to me about things, and to see where she is now and to see good people getting rewarded, I love it. Teresa, you've been busy and on the move with your interior design business. Let's check this out.
Here will be matching sideboards. Here, beautiful custom couch, 2 chairs, table.
Ooh. Were you really satisfied? Were you satisfied with the reveal?
Oh my gosh, I was so satisfied. It was such a hard project. Oh, it took me about 6 months to do that house.
Wow, that looks amazing. How long have you been doing that?
Well, I started off being an interior designer back in the day, like 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. So I got back into it, then I quit, then I got back into it, then I quit. So now I'm back into it full time.
Did you take a break to work with your son, to help with your son's responsibilities, his career?
Yes, I did. I took a break, and then I decided to, get back into it. And even when he was at the beginning of his career, I was still doing interior designs. I always done that. People didn't know that because I'm so behind the scenes.
I always wonder when moms, I'm not a mom, so I don't know about the sacrifices and how it feels to kind of put your stuff on the back burner, to put your child, to push your child, and how that really feels. Is it a bittersweet type of thing, or is it all positive, or is it sometimes, if we're keeping it a buck, is it sometimes be like, damn, what about me? I always wondered about that.
You know what, to be totally honest, at the end of the day, at the beginning, I was it was all about him. And as he got older, I'm like, you know what? I sat back and I looked at my life. I'm like, you know what? what about me? Because when they get older, they leave you. And then you're sitting here like, what about me? Mm-hmm. So it is kind of bittersweet.
And it seems like it's not okay to say that, but I think that's an honest thing to say.
Yes.
And to feel. Deb,
yes.
How about yourself? Like, I know you had a whole bunch of stuff going on before, so I don't know.
No, it don't matter. Like, I do not like not being a mom. Like, I never understood what my girlfriends would say about having sons, okay? Because a son you have for another woman. Mm-hmm. And I got to experience that when Waka got married. Oh my God, I was the mom from hell.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I had to apologize. Like, it was horrible. It was like when they got married and when I found out, I got a phone call and I had somebody from the tabloids call me. Deb, congratulations. We just seen them coming out. And I called them. I was cussing and yelling. One, I was deprived for one. And then when he actually got married, like they said, they made it through the 5 years, they would give us the wedding. Of course, they had the wedding and I still really didn't have any say so. But when I watched it, I just felt like I was robbed. Like, now I'm not going to be a mother anymore. So I never thought about what my kids would about me. Well, it was what about me not being a mom anymore. You know what I'm saying? And not being needed. I love being a mother. So it's the part of them not needing me anymore. You know, like that's the hardest part for me. That's the part that's difficult.
See, for me, Bao, it seems like for me, Bao always need me. Like, always. It's always something. Like, every day he needs me. So I was
not married, Teresa. Wait till you get married and somebody else comes along there. And then she's there and she's there to cook. Like, Tammy was throwing her breakfast sandwiches at me because she made good breakfast sandwiches and he came and threw that in my face. So it's like my sons is always at my table to eat. But when she came along, she was able to cook. Tammy could cook. And she made an excellent breakfast sandwich where he no longer was coming in the door looking for food. He was calling, Ma, she just made this. Ma, she just made that. So those things there was like, oh, now I'm going at it with another woman with my son, you know? So.
Yeah. So it's like, that's got to be a complicated thing to like deal with your feelings, right? Because you're like, why am I tripping? This is my son. I should be happy for him. Right. But then it's like, but I still want him to need me because I birthed him.
Right. I don't want nobody else to do it. Like, I should be doing this. Like, you know, you kind of go through that. And then my mother's sister-in-law, which is Tammy's mom, like, he goes to her for stuff. And I had to go through all of that. But Tammy comes to me for things. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I had to still go through that because it's like, I'm your mother. Like, you could come to me and to do the. So it's like, it's really, really crazy. But it's all good because I love her to death. You know, I wouldn't trade her for nothing in the world. But it's still like, I was that mother-in-law from hell, really.
You know what? I just want to say thank you before we go to break, because a lot of times people want to give the correct, like what we're supposed to say. No. Oh, I love my child no matter what. And not that I expected that. I expected y'all to keep it a buck and keep it real with me. Yeah. And I like that you said that because I'm sure there's a lot of moms out there that feel that and think that, but have never vocalized that. That weird kind of competition thing or losing you to another woman in a way thing.
That's probably why women don't get along with their daughter-in-laws. Mm-hmm. That might be a very reason why things like that are the way that they are. It's not that she's bad. It's just that she's just taking something away from her, because it's a strong feeling. Like, I mean, for me, I'll say that for me. You know what I'm saying? There's times that I don't see him. Like, he's okay. He's good. Like, I know he's eating. I know that he's good. And I know she got him. But still in all, it's like, dang, I just need you to want me. I love when he come dive in my bed. You know what I'm saying? And lay next to me. And those things just feel so good. But it's only for a second because he go home.
Oh, Waka, call your mom and go dive in her lap. And Bao, look at Teresa's like, nah, I don't need.
I want to find him a wife, okay? I can't wait for that day to come. I'm ready to pass the torch, okay? You can have him, please.
Don't believe Teresa. Don't believe Teresa.
Oh my God. So I want to get into the early on, the early part of your son's careers. When did it hit you that your sons had what it takes to be stars? Because everybody thinks their kids are really good at something, right? And well, sometimes they're not. But y'all definitely had talented sons. So when did it hit you? Like, no, I think I got something here.
I think for me, when Bao was, pretty, like when he was probably like 2 years old, like he was very advanced and he was very different. I used to say, you're weird. Like I thought he was going to be a comedian because he was always cracking jokes. And then he could remember lyrics to songs. Like, I mean, it was crazy. And I'm like, you know what? I struggled so hard, like being a teenager and even being like a mother at a young age. So I was like, God is going to bless me with something. Like I felt it. And he blessed me with the Bao.
Like 2 years old?
I was going to be a star. I knew.
So at 2 years old, you could tell he had something.
Yeah. He was he was different.
Wow.
He was different.
Okay.
So he was kind of weird. Like it was weird. Like, he would say things and I'm like, what?
Weird. Like, was he to himself? Was he nerdy? Was he antisocial?
No, he wasn't nerdy at all. He was straight hip hop. Like he loved videos. He loved rap music. He loved all of that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Deb, how about yourself? How'd you know that you had something special with Waka?
I don't think I ever, being real with you, I never looked at it like that. Not especially not in rap. Mm-hmm. I always thought that Waka was going to play ball. Okay, because that's what he was being scouted at, and I knew he was going to do something. Mm-hmm. But I had another son that was actually rapping before Waka. Mm-hmm. Okay, so but I never seen any of them as being rappers.
Really?
Not that. That wasn't the dream for me.
Did you discourage it at first? Were you like, oh hell no, no?
Honestly, with Waka, being real with you, I didn't believe him. I thought he was playing because Waka's also a big jokester. Like he loved joking around. He loved playing games with you. You know what I'm saying? He's the goofiest little thing at times, Like he loved doing crazy things. But when he first came in, this first song, I always have to talk about that Dresden Gold, I'm from down south. I had a fit when he brought that record in there. Boy, you ain't from no down south coming in here with this country song of how he was doing it. And one day he made me come into the club and it was packed. And all these kids in there was bopping to him. And I'm looking, but he still didn't get me until he came in and played, Oh, Let's Do It. And I was laying in the bed. He said, Ma, I got a record for real. I really got a record this time. I said, mm-hmm. And he went down there and put the record in, put the CD in. And when it came on, I heard the beat first. I kind of opened up one eye. Then it went in, I heard him. When he said, I popped up, I set up, I said, oh, shoot, we got a record. He snatched it and ran out the house. Oh, I can't rap. I don't know what I'm doing. And he started rapping. But the first time I noticed that my son was a star, it was a college event that was going on. And they played his record. Mm-hmm. And everybody in this arena was yelling. And I looked at India and I said, India, that's my son they talking about. And she looked at me, she said, yeah, Deb, that's Waka. And I said, no, look at all of these people. Because my son is my son. Yeah. So I don't look at him how other people look at him because he's my child. So I expect you, whatever you do, you're going to do the best at it. You understand? Mm-hmm. But it wasn't until I sat in that room and I sat in that arena. Matter of fact, the Fox Theater. And I looked around the Fox Theater and all these kids was chanting him, his song, and was yelling him. And the tears rolled down my eyes. And I called him. I said, Waka. He said, what, Ma? And when I'm telling him, he said, Ma, why are you just finding this out? And the funny thing is, I said, you asked me, how does it feel for me to be your son? And I thought that was the most ridiculous question he could ask me. You understand what I'm saying? Because you rapping ain't gonna make me love you. I love you regardless because you mine. Whether you Waka Flocka, Joaquin, whoever, you're mine. So I don't look at it like how people look at it. But when I sat in that room and they was chanting his name, that was like one of the most proudest moments for me ever. That's crazy.
Especially since you didn't see it, and then to see the reaction, that had to be.
And I'm being real. I've never seen it.
Wow. So you were not just easily just convinced.
I didn't want him. I literally didn't want him to be in rap. Like, I was like, come help me in the business. Don't do that. Because I knew how the rap game was and how, you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
it's like, I didn't want to worry about him, you know, getting in there. And then I know he's my child and I know the realness in him. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, can he handle this? Can he handle the people? Can he handle the stuff that go on with this? What's going to happen? Am I going to lose my child this way? I'm worried about the streets, but now I'm placing him into a deeper part. You understand? Yeah. So I'm worried about all of those things, and that's not where I want him, because the industry is just not what it's wrapped up to be. You know, you understand?
Now, before we went to commercial, I asked Teresa, I want to hear about this new venture that Bow Wow's talking about. Is it true that Bow Wow wants to become a wrestler?
First of all, you guys know Bow is an entertainer. And you know what? I think that he wants to just get in a ring. He's always been a huge fan of the WWE wrestling world. Like, since he was little. I mean, he collected those wrestling men. He thought he was a wrestler. He had to take him to all those matches. Like, I think it's like entertaining for him. You know, he gets bored. He's a Pisces.
Excuse me.
Oh, oops.
Are you a Pisces, Deb?
Yes. Yes.
And Deb, you know how you guys are. You guys are
That's
dreamers.
True.
You guys, your minds start going and whew, y'all come up with all these creative ideas.
You know, speaking of ideas that are different, I want to definitely ask you, Deb, about this. Before the election, you and Waka faced a lot of criticism about, you know, your support for Donald Trump. Do you two still support him after what happened with the riots at the Capitol? Are you still support? And is it true?
Okay, so Claudia, here's the thing. I'm going to stand on what I said, okay?
Yep.
If I had to vote, let's be clear, and this is what I said, I would vote for him. I'm a realist. What I see is what I get, okay? There's no hidden agendas about him. I'm not telling you that I'm a fan and I'm madly in love with him and all of that, but I know what I'm going to get from him. Do you understand what I'm saying? That man, your president, has been in office for so long already and ain't done nothing. In all these years of him and the stuff he's done, what's going to be the difference now? You understand? And I really try not to get into that a lot, because the two things that you're not supposed to talk about is religion and politics, okay? Also, I know it's not for me, really. That election stuff ain't for me. It ain't going to benefit me. Look at what's going on now. We have all these homeless people here in America, but yet 86 million is being spent on hotels for people from behind that wall that was knocked down. It's not fair. That's not fair. I can barely get medical coverage. I can barely get things. You understand what I'm saying? And you're going to take 86 million and give it to these people? I'm not justifying the fact of why he should have been in there, but I did say, if I voted, I would vote for Trump. I would have, but I ain't vote for either one of them.
Can I ask you this, Deb, to piggyback up your comment about the hotels for the migrants? To play devil's advocate, what about the hundreds of millions of dollars that Donald Trump spent with golf? I think there's a lot of waste with these people, period, right? And the people end up suffering with the lack of, you know what I mean? Like, everything is before the people, really. A lot of times it's like all these agendas.
But that's why I said that it's not for me. It's not for you. It's not benefiting us. Right. Whatever they do, whatever it is that they decide to do. But he was the lesser evil to me. Okay. You understand? So it was already, I see what I'm going to get. I already see that. Now I have to wait on what's going to happen here now. What's going to go on there. But it does not matter. Whatever go on, who am I? Who am I really?
You're Deb Antney and you got a voice.
I might, and that's all I have is a voice. but I ain't got a penny in them nickels over there. You understand? They get to do whatever it is that they want to do. So I'm not going to beef with people about how they feel. And then what is democracy? Okay, let's look at that. If we both felt the same way, if we all felt the same way, where are we going? And what's going to happen? Claudia, if they didn't put all these, now they got to be careful about placing me to say something behind this. If they did not pay all those celebrities to do all this stuff to go out and advocate for him, do you really think they would have won? Let's be real about that. So it ain't like it was a fair thing all the way across the board, because a lot of people got to speak on it and they know the people that they needed. And we're very easy to be influenced. They can influence us easily when it's not even about us for real. So I'll be careful with that, but I'm going to say exactly what I say. He's not the president. He lost, okay? But I'm not taking it back. I said, if I had to vote, I would have voted for him because he's the lesser of the evil. But I ain't vote for none of them.
Well, thank you.
Because I knew none of them was going to benefit me either way now.
Well, thanks for standing on that and speaking.
I'm not going to back down on that. I'm just not going to back on it.
I don't expect Deb Addy to back down. That's why I got a lot of respect for you. No matter if I agree, disagree, I respect you.
Right. You
Teresa,
know, so everybody's entitled. I ain't upset if you went over there and this is not what you like. It's your, you know what I'm saying? I respect it. I don't have to accept it, but I respect it.